puny god.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 best Marvel moments of the century so far.
You have a train to catch.
For this list, we'll be looking at the most cheer-worthy, chill-inducing, and heart-wrenching moments in nearly 25 years of Marvel movies. Since we'll be talking about major plot points of films from the years 2000 to 2022, beware of major spoilers ahead. What are your favorite Marvel memories? Let us know in the comments. Number 20. The Fate of the X-Force, Deadpool 2.
From now on, we'll be known as X-Force.
Isn't that a little derivative?
It's hard to predict what will happen in any of the fourth wall breaking adventures that feature the wisecracking Deadpool. But nothing could have prepared us for the most hilarious and shocking twist in the second film. Throughout most of the trailers and promos, the studio promised that the X-Force team would play a major part in the narrative. So we got really excited when they jumped out of a plane to confront Cable. But our expectations were thrown out the window when the X-Force members started dropping like flies. Is it wrong to laugh as they get smashed, electrocuted, and dissolved by acid? Maybe. Is it funny though? Absolutely. Thanks to the over-the-top gore and sheer surprise of the sequence, we'll never forget this X-Force scene.
But there is a slight chance Vanisher could make it. Nope, no chance. He's dead.
Number 19. Fighting Between Floors, Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Shortly after Nick Fury is shot by an assassin in Cap's apartment, the hero is brought in for questioning. Just when it seems like the Avengers off the hook, his elevator fills with guys that are clearly not headed down to the records room. Cap is still classy enough to give people a chance to leave.
Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
After a brief moment of calm, the elevator struggles to contain a hugely epic action sequence. Although it's 10 against 1, the villains never stood a chance. The glass elevator walls and ceiling allow us to see the fast-paced fight from every angle. The final shot shows Rogers in the center of a floor littered with unconscious opponents. Honestly, we're glad they didn't leave when they had the chance.
It kind of feels personal.
Number 18. A bang-up bus brawl, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Before Shang-Chi got on a fateful bus ride, he came off as a mild-mannered valet who liked to sing karaoke with his best buddy Katie. Everything changes after henchmen demand that he hand over his mother's pendant. As soon as a villain attacks Katie, Shang-Chi's demeanor changes, and he transforms from a polite valet to a martial arts master.
You have the wrong guy. Does he look like he can fight? Come on, bro.
The hero stuns us and his opponents with amazing fight choreography that takes full advantage of the bus setting. Everything, from the poles to the objects the passengers carry, are used to keep the action moving forward. In between the blows, the hilarious quips from Katie and the other passengers add the perfect amount of humor to this impressive bus bout.
Sorry. We make a good team.
Number 17. Friends from Work, Thor Ragnarok. By the time Thor ends up in the Grandmaster's arena to fight a mysterious opponent, he's been through quite a rough patch. His father died, his evil sister destroyed his hammer, and he's stranded on a trash planet. But Thor's frown turns upside down when he discovers his opponent is Hulk. The God of Thunder's face lights up like a kid on Christmas morning as he says an iconic line.
Hey! We know each other! He's a friend from work!
Just when we thought this moment couldn't get any sweeter, we heard reports that a kid from the Make-A-Wish Foundation reportedly inspired the piece of dialogue. Between that fact, Loki's horror at seeing the Hulk, and Thor's goofiness, this scene is simply divine.
There's so much has happened since I last saw you. I lost my hammer, like yesterday, so that's still pretty fresh.
Number 16. Illuminati Demise, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
I have children of my own. I understand your pain.
Is their mother still alive?
Yes.
Good. There will be someone left to raise them.
When Doctor Strange is brought before an alternate universe Illuminati, we're treated to a council of cameos. Captain Carter, Black Bolt, and a marvelous Maria Rambeau all made their big screen debuts. We also finally got to see Reed Richards and Charles Xavier in an MCU movie. Luckily, we didn't get too attached. When the Illuminati attempts to take on a Darkhold-influenced and very powerful Wanda Maximoff, they quickly learn that you shouldn't startle the Scarlet Witch.
Wanda, Black Bolt could destroy you with one whisper from his mouth.
What mouth?
She proceeds to kill nearly every member of the Illuminati in creative and grisly ways. Thanks to this scene, we got an extensive look at the spells Wanda can use to end a life. Her violent actions conjured up a surprising and well-executed scene. Number 15. Stan Lee Watches All. Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2. How do you choose between all of Stan Lee's fabulous cameos? You just land on one that might have tied them all together. As Rocket, Yondu, Kraglin, and Groot jump through space, we spot Lee dressed in an astronaut suit.
Oh, man. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, at that time, I was a Federal Express man.
He's also surrounded by tall, bald aliens known as Watchers. Throughout Marvel stories, these extraterrestrial beings are famous for observing popular events while trying not to interfere. Lee's presence amongst them and reference to a past role confirmed that he's either a Watcher or works for them. This means that every cameo he's ever made could all be one guy just putting on many hats. The idea that the late Lee was undercover all these years makes us want to shout a happy Excelsior.
Hey, you were supposed to be my lift home. How will I get out of here? Hey, gee, I've got so many more stories to tell. Guys, gee.
Number 14. Move the Coin. X-Men First Class. When Eric Lensher was a child, Sebastian Shaw gave him a choice. Either use his powers to move a coin or watch his mother die. Unfortunately, the young mutant failed to use his abilities and heard his mom fall. When Eric finally confronts his tormentor as an adult, Charles Xavier holds Shaw in place. The telepath also begs for the Master of Magnetism to make a good choice. However, Eric can't ignore his desire for revenge.
This is what we're going to do.
No. Please, Eric, no.
I'm going to count to 3, and I'm going to move the coin.
He uses his power over metal to move the coin right through Shaw's head. The gruesome moment came off as both satisfying and tragic. Although Magneto got his revenge, this violent action would open up a rift between him and Xavier that they struggled to overcome.
We want the same thing.
My friend, I'm sorry, but we do not.
Number 13. What is reality? Doctor Strange. Throughout the Ancient One's first interaction with the egotistical Doctor Strange, she lets him rant and rave about how he doesn't believe in mystic arts until he attempts to touch her. In an instant, the Ancient One puts him in check and proves a point by knocking his soul out of his body. She then proceeds to send his spirit on a journey through the multiverse.
What is real? What mysteries lie beyond the reach of your senses?
We're blown away by hyper-saturated colors and scenery that we hadn't seen in the MCU up to this point. At the same time, parts of the trip are a little uncomfortable and disturbing. This trippy journey served as a nice hint that the cinematic Marvel universe would take us to creative and wondrous places in the future.
Who are you in this vast multiverse? Mr. Strange?
Number 12. Captain America vs. Iron Man. Captain America Civil War. If Captain America fought Iron Man, who would win? That question was answered in one emotional and unforgettable MCU battle. When the vengeful Zemo reveals that the Winter Soldier killed Iron Man's parents, Tony can only see red. But before he can eliminate Bucky, Cap steps in to defend his oldest friend.
This isn't gonna change what happened.
I don't care. He killed my mom.
Steve's actions kick off a no-holds-barred battle that makes full use of the hero's skills and powers. The action builds up to the beautiful and heartbreaking moment where Iron Man's blast hits Steve's shield. Not only does the scene perfectly recreate a comic, but it shows the two men have reached their breaking points. Their friendship becomes one of the biggest casualties of the Civil War.
He's my friend. So was I.
Number 11. 3 Peter Parkers unite. Spider-Man: No Way Home. Audiences cheered when Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire individually portaled their way into the MCU. So they lost their minds when they teamed up with Holland's Peter to fight a collection of their old villains at the Statue of Liberty. Each Spider-Man gets a win. Maguire's Spider-Man gets a second chance to help his old foe Sandman. Thanks to Holland's experience with the Avengers, he's able to lead the team. And Garfield's character gets to redeem his failure to save Gwen by catching MJ.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Are you okay?
Seeing 3 heroes who usually sit alone on tall buildings having a moment of brotherhood was awesome. They all realize that there's always someone in the multiverse who will understand, and it's okay to ask for help.
Yeah, it's what we do. Right, I gotta find Ned and MJ. Thank you.
Number 10. I Am Iron Man. Iron Man. As the first MCU film winds down, Tony Stark prepares to lie about the times he put on an Iron Man suit to deal out justice. Although all he has to do is stick to the cover story that's been written for him, Tony stays true to himself and does what he wants by revealing the truth to the world.
The truth is, I am Iron Man.
This epic mic drop made our own jaws drop. Tony's badass confession made it clear that he wouldn't spend any time hiding who he is. Just over 10 years later, a wiser and more humble Tony gave us an epic callback to that statement. Right before he defeats Thanos, he reminds the Mad Titan exactly who he is with a stunning declaration of victory.
And I am Iron Man.
Number 9. Nightcrawler infiltrates the White House. X2 X-Men United. This X-Men sequel kicks off with a quiet yet deafening series of bamfs within the White House. After slowly building up the tension, it's revealed that Nightcrawler has snuck into the hallowed building with sinister intent.
Multiple subjects. Mr. President, security breach. Jackie, leave.
Once security confronts him, a fascinating fight begins. We're given only glimpses of a blue-tailed figure teleporting through the halls and acrobatically dispatching enemies. Thanks to stunning cinematography, we're left in awe as the camera moves with the kinetic intruder. The scene served as a refreshingly original and electrifying display of everything that Nightcrawler is capable of. With one stunning scene, he became one of our favorite on-screen mutants.
I could see it all happening, but I couldn't stop myself. It was like a bad dream.
Number 8. Killmonger's death. Black Panther. Enemies and cousins T'Challa and Killmonger fought over the soul of Wakanda in one last battle. In the end, the hero clinches a narrow victory. But instead of hearing glorious victory music, a somber tone washes over everything. T'Challa quickly decides to help his cousin look upon Wakanda once more before he dies. Although the hero offers to heal his cousin, Killmonger rejects the request with a stunning series of words.
Just bury me in the ocean with my ancestors that jumped from the ships, because they knew death was better than bondage.
His final declaration perfectly sums up all the qualities that made his character so captivating. Killmonger shows strength, vulnerability, and honesty in just a few words. Although he dies in this powerful scene, his last lines would go on to affect both T'Challa and the viewers long after he spoke.
Wakanda will no longer watch from the shadows. We cannot. We must not.
Number 7. Berserker Rage. Logan. If every member of the X-Men represented an emotion, Logan would be anger. Fans love seeing him use that fiery feeling to protect his friends. Logan fully harnessed that rage in a spectacular scene in his self-titled movie. When his daughter gets cornered by mercenaries, he takes a special serum to enhance his abilities. The power boost gave us the finest depiction of Wolverine's notorious berserker rage we'd ever seen in live action. He tears through the forest and slices any opponent in his path without pausing to reflect. For a few minutes, Logan fully gives in to his pure animalistic instincts. We're glad we got to see this truly savage part of Wolverine before he met his end.
I think I might have killed him.
Number 6. A Circle of Heroes. The Avengers.
So, this all seems horrible.
I've seen worse.
Sorry.
No, we could use a little worse.
Shortly after Loki arrives to conquer Earth, it becomes clear that Earth's mightiest heroes are having a lot of trouble working as a team. Their situation only gets worse when they're dropped into New York as it's being invaded by aliens. When faced with overwhelming odds, they decide to stand together to defeat their enemies. As the camera slowly pans around them, the triumphant Avengers theme plays to inspire us. The shot confirms that each hero is in fighting form and they have each other's backs. It was an iconic moment that will always remind us why we love to see a bunch of heroes assemble in one place. Thankfully, it represented just the beginning of a beautiful series of team-ups and epic group poses. Number 5. Quicksilver Kitchen Scene. X-Men Days of Future Past.
I'm holding your neck so you don't get whiplash.
What?
Whiplash.
Sometimes, a great moment isn't a huge plot reveal or a fight. It might just be a moment where the audience gets to enjoy a mutant's power as much as he does. When the heroes need to break Eric Lensher out of jail, Quicksilver goes along for the journey. He really proves his worth when he puts on his tunes and uses super speed to defeat some guards.
If I could save time in a bottle, the first thing that I'd like to do.
Instead of being brutal, Quicksilver solves the dilemma with a series of pranks. To capture his impossible speed, the camera wisely chooses to use slow motion. The resulting effect makes us really feel how fast he can go. Although this scene is often imitated by other speedy heroes, nothing can quite measure up to this legendary Quicksilver sequence. Number 4. Leap of Faith. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. While a crew of spider people is getting ready to save the multiverse, they all decide that the recently bitten Miles Morales isn't ready.
When will I know I'm ready?
You won't. It's a leap of faith.
He's left behind to wonder if he's truly meant to be a hero. Fortunately, a speech from his dad inspires him to believe that he's enough. As Miles embraces his powers, he remembers that his mentor Peter told him that being Spider-Man was a leap of faith.
When do I know I'm Spider-Man? You won't. That's all it is, Miles. A leap of faith.
Miles takes that advice very literally and tests himself by jumping off a building. The moment he lets go is absolutely breathtaking. Although he's falling, the gorgeous animation makes it look like he's rising to new heights. The symbolic leap is the most memorable and awe-inspiring scene in this visual masterpiece of a movie.
Can't stop me now. Travel 200 miles, I'm knocking at your door. And I don't really care if you ain't
Number 3. Thanos Wins. Avengers Infinity War. Before Infinity War, we assumed that every MCU movie would end with the good guys winning. We didn't think that would change when Thor wounded Thanos before the Mad Titan could erase half of all life. Suddenly, Thor leaned in to hear the villain's final gasps. Instead of yielding, the villain taunted the hero with his words and a game-changing snap.
You should have gone for the head.
We could only watch with complete and utter shock as heroes across the MCU turned into dust. Seeing Spider-Man disappear served as an especially hard kick in the gut. As Thanos sits enjoying a sunset, we wait for the last-minute save. It was clear the superhero genre would never be the same again when one shocking realization hit home. The villain won.
Oh God.
Number 2. Holding back the train. Spider-Man 2. When Peter Parker faces off Doc Ock to save MJ, they end up fighting atop a speeding train. After Peter protects a few passengers, Doc Ock destroys the vehicle's controls. A fight against a supervillain instantly turns into a desperate struggle to stop an out-of-control train. At first, it looks like the newly unmasked Spider-Man can't save the day this time.
Any more bright ideas?
I got a few. Yeah!
But Peter somehow pushes past his limits and brings the train to a stop at the last second. Watching Spider-Man risk everything and come out on top was incredibly inspiring. Additionally, it was heartwarming to see strangers vow to protect his identity after his tremendous save. Spider-Man's actions showed us what it truly meant to be a friendly neighborhood superhero.
We won't tell nobody.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Milo busts a move. Morbius. Milo Morbius danced his way here by appearing in a scene where he celebrated his vampirism by busting a move. Is there any other Marvel moment that could top this? Yeah, of course there is. Our real number 1 boils down to 2 words. Number 1. Avengers Assemble. Avengers Endgame. At one point during Endgame's final battle, Thanos defeated 2 of the last 3 Avengers left standing. There was a brief flash of hope when Captain America proved his worthiness once and for all.
I knew it.
But not even Thor's hammer can help Cap take down the villain. As he prepares to stand alone against an approaching enemy, Steve hears Sam Wilson in his ear.
Captain Sam, can you hear me? On your left.
Moments later, magical portals begin to open across the landscape. Seemingly every heroic figure, warrior, and anti-hero in the MCU then arrives to fight. Words can't describe how happy and excited we were to see these icons together again after they were torn apart. This epic reunion solidified its place in the history books when Cap uttered a long-awaited battle cry.
Avengers!
Assemble.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.